All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. That's the 22 of Outlaw Radio. I hope you all can hear me right now. Of course, I'm the Outlaw tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the party. Let me see if I can that. I can turn it down. Away. All right. Elizabeth Bids is here. Hello, Elizabeth Bids. Hello to everybody over here live and in person. Welcome to Outlaw Radio. Of course, I am Canadian heavyweight pro wrestling champion. I, the Canadian heavyweight champion for boys pro wrestling. I'm the best guy in Canada. I am a professional wrestler, author, and five books. I'll get into the OUTLAW in a second. Thank you to everybody who's been here tonight. I've got quite a lot to say that it's on my reading to commenting on as I go. So let's just get right off the top here. Again, I'm the All Out Night. Thank you all for being here. If it's your first time here, probably on the post view afterwards for everybody here and on YouTube and on TikTok right now. I do need to get a multi-stream platform. I was going to go stream it to get that going. I think when we test the rest, but honestly, I can't afford stream mode right now. It's just my league. Yellow blood. For us, I'm an author, very much for a guy. I'm a wise father, and a lot of different things, a lot of different things. Care, but mostly what I am, I'm not smacking fool around. I would like to think that I'm somebody who's good at speaking with them, being empathetic to people. Tonight's episode of Outlaw Radio, we're talking about living with pain. And we're going to talk about that in my life, and hopefully we'll relate to that with everybody else. To do that, I do want to give a couple of quick things to go with this. If you've been here before and you want to, be a part of the plan, please do hang out here. If you're interested in me as a person and wants to see stuff that I do and have, of course, you bring my merch. I've got t-shirts available here on ProStees.com and Great White North Productions.com. You go around to the links in the description, you can see the links. You go find all of my merch available, the great shipping costs, all that stuff, whether in the United States, Canada, or abroad, you can find those things. Also, please go to Amazon. Please find my books are available to download in ebook format. Actually, the free ebook happening right now. It's a novella I wrote almost 30 years ago when I was really into dark stuff. That's all available right now. It's a good thing. I really hope you all check it out. But these books right here are my pride and joy. Obviously, I've got physical copies. They're available paperback, hardcover, of course, ebook download. I will. I will eventually get. Thanks, I'm all good. Oh, you shut up, Todd. I'm doing my best over here. I'm doing my best right now. Thank you all for being here live, though. It means a lot. I am hoping we can all check out my books, my merch, and all that other stuff as well. So let me see what I can do to get this thing going for tonight. Again, I'm going to remove the outlaw, remus up the hair, and let's see if y'all can still hear me as I put my grown-ups on. So we want tonight to talk about living with pain. And pain is something I think that all of us can relate to on one level or another. Pain is a lot. It's a lot for everybody. So I want to make a disclaimer right off the top before I get too deep into this. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. Or else I'm an author, I'm a father, stuff. I'm not a doctor, not a fitness expert, not a psychologist, a kinesiologist, a psychiatrist. I'm just a guy who's used to living with and dealing with a fair amount of pain. To me, I think we need to break down pain into three categories: physical, mental, and emotional. Now, when we get to the end of the conversation, we'll be able to talk about how they all relate to each other, how they all interact, and piggyback on each other. But I do think it's important to break down how each one of them affects us differently. And I can't do that for everybody. I can only do that for myself. Drunken Nerd, JMB, Baseball Todd, thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to get all your comments if you have any questions here or there we'll do that. But let me get through my bit first, and if you have anything you want to add, I do want to talk about it at the end. Okay, guys? I'm not ignoring you. Or, I'm very happy you're all here. But I do want to get through this first. So we're talking about three different types of pain, but the most obvious one we need to talk about, is, of course, is physical. It's the easiest to define. In my case, currently, I'm dealing with obviously a terribly arthritic knee that I'm eventually going to have to get replaced in the next 3 to 5 years. I've got multiple documented concussions in my head. I'm currently dealing with some kind of a torn labrum or something in the shoulder. I don't really know. My lower back has been a bear for the last 2 weeks, making everything I do very challenging. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just stating these facts. As a result of these physical ailments, I have to do a lot of different things every day just to get up and get out of bed and get on with my day. I take glucosamines, I take all different kinds of vitamins, I try to make sure I drink lots of water. I've worked very hard on rejiggering my nutrition. Yes, I know I'm a big round face guy who's over 300 pounds, but I try to eat appropriately to reduce inflammation, grab stuff that's good for digestion, grab stuff that's good for my physical well-being. So lots of proteins, lower sugars, try to stay away from saturated fats. We all fail with the stuff, but those are things that are very important to help with my physical pain and recovery. I do not like taking painkillers. I, of course, have, like Rebecca said, I do have Advil, and that's how I'm not a sadist. Although it gets really bad, I do take it. But even when I've had surgery, either to my knee or getting my hernia repaired or anything else that I've done along the way, I've only ever tried to take just enough to get me through what's going on so I can get back to feeling what I need to feel in order to, be back to normal or whatever I consider normal as soon as possible. That's just because I know I've got an addictive personality and I don't like to be reliant on things that mute my feelings, that mute my pain. Well, I use a ton of A535. I've got one of the spare guns, and I've got that's just for a gun. Spare gun. I've got a TENS machine. With my back being out as in the last couple of weeks, I've been using my TENS machine pretty much every day. I have a heating pad. I have ice packs. I've done every trick in the book to try to manage and mitigate my pain to get me through some of the challenges that I personally deal with. And of course, these are all things that I recommend for you. We all have aches and pains. And the physical ones, again, like I said, are the easiest ones to deal with. And they're exhausting. They're just exhausting. The toll they take on, on my body. And I want to make it very clear. I'm not complaining about this pain. I'm not looking to invoke any sympathy. I am not looking for any level of pity or anything like that. I do not want that, nor do I need it. I did this to me. I did this to me. The aches and pains I'm dealing, concussions, my knees, my back, everything I've done that I deal with is the price of 3 decades of professional wrestling. 3 decades of being a big bastard who moves and lift heavy weights and whose joints have taken a pounding. I am paying the price for the purchase I made 25 years ago as a younger man. So many people have daily chronic pain that is so much worse. Whether they're dealing with disease, fibromyalgia, spinal nerve tissue issues, diabetes, cancer. I am a lucky man. The pain that I'm feeling is self-abuse. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. Doesn't mean it doesn't suck. But I acknowledge that I'm in a good state with it. So that's physical pain. Moving on, let's talk about something that I seem to keep coming back to on this channel. What is mental pain? Mental pain is an ongoing battle that I face every day. It's not one that many people can speak about in relation to others. I can't really speak for your mental pain or anything that I can only speak about in my regard. But I do know that now that I'm in this great hard position of being something of a mentor to a lot of people, whether it's through the Blissful Wrestling Training Academy or online or in writing circles or whatever, I know that I'm not alone when it comes to dealing with the struggle I deal with in my own head. So again, speaking for myself, I am always, 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 always afraid that I am not good. always. And this comes from the personal belief I really am not. No matter what I've done, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, no matter what I accomplish, in my head, I firmly believe that I am not good. I've been to therapy, of course, one of the ways I deal with mental pain. So I know that this is a lie. This is a lie that my brain says to me every day, possibly to combat my ego, possibly as a self-preservation method, but possibly just because some part of me is broken. But it's there. It's there every day. So I've done the work. Again, I do lots of reading. I do lots of speaking to people and with people. And I try to speak positively about myself. I try to acknowledge my successes. I also acknowledge my faults and I have my criticism of myself, but I try to come at them from an honest and loving position. I try to, I did a whole podcast on this a couple months ago, but I try to remember that my negativity in myself is a poison to myself, and by proxy, it is a poison to others. But the anxiety that I feel from this is very real. This lack of belief in myself it's real. It's punishing. It's sort of sucking. And it rears its ugly head every time I try to figure out a thumbnail for my From the Vault drops on Mondays, or when I decide I'm going to do a podcast, or I'm working on my books and I try to figure out, why should I bother? Nobody reads these things, and they're not good enough for people. It's all lies. All lies. By saying these words out loud, I believe that I have an outlet, that I'm giving myself an outlet to express these thoughts and to diffuse their power in my own head. And I'm hoping that by sharing these thoughts publicly, off the record, online, out into the world, that this is a way out for other people too. I said this before a few weeks ago, I'll say it again. If you're dealing with stuff up here and it's hurting you, you need help, please ask for help. It can be me, it can be anyone, it can be a pastor, it can be a professional, it can just be your bartender. I want to make it very clear for all my struggles up here, or for my physical difficulties, I am very fortunate. I have a lot of help these days. I have people that I can speak to, I have people that I go to, and I have healthy outlets. So, we're talking about physical. I talked about this really about. So let's talk about emotional things. And this one's a little tricky. In fact, I would say that many people say that this type of pain goes hand in hand with the mental, and there's some validity to that validity. But I don't think so. To me, it's a different kettle. Again, as I said before, all three of these types of pain are intricate. But for me, emotional pain comes from the feeling that I am not deserving of love. As at some level, I don't love myself. And I realize that's very 60s small child hippy stuff that you hear your therapist should say, but it's truth to it. It's a real truth to it. Because I don't believe here that I'm worthy of love, it's hard for me to accept other people. Sometimes it comes from an honest place, sometimes it comes from past relationships where there were struggles, problems, conflicts, my own failings, So it's very difficult when you're dealing with multiple pains or not to develop into self. You're living in Winnipeg right now, we the fourth winter of this year. The gray clouds, the snow, the wetness, the dampness, kick my ass. Kick my ass. had a bit of a migraine, which again is physical pain, but it stemmed from the fact that I just felt sick. I felt sad. And, that is the hard thing. I hope it's a hard thing for me to admit. But I promised myself when I was going to do these podcasts that I wasn't going to do them unless I could be as vulnerable as possible. So this is all. This is all I was beating myself up. It is very important to me. It's very important to me to challenge myself when it comes to these. I often feel heavy moments of sadness and unworthiness and a lack of love. And I still, to this day, there are evidence to the contrary. No matter how much that woman loves me, how much my daughter loves me, how much he loves me, we'll go there. Maybe not. But that's, I have trouble believing that I believe everything. Because on some level, deep down, so now all of these types of pain are, they persist. They need to be faced on a regular basis, combated, countered, and managed. Because they gang up on each other. Physical pain, amplified by your mental pain, which then turns into emotional sadness, depression. It is all, it is a triple team trios match. So they need to be faced and they need to be countered. And sometimes this means therapy, this means medication, not by a doctor. It means counseling, which I do think is different from therapy. Sometimes it means all of it more. Pain is persistent. I believe its biggest purpose, pain's biggest purpose, is to remind a person of their limits. There is a purpose to pain that is beneficial if you're able to see it. Pain is to remind you of your limits, to warn you when you're about to push too far in any one direction. You don't do that extra rep on the step. Maybe you need to put down that item of work that you've been working on for the last 8 hours because now your brain is much. You can't even recognize the work. Maybe you're crushing too hard. Pain can also be a liar. Tell you false truths, convince you that you're done, washed up and worthless. Pain will make you think that there's no point in going to the gym. No point in getting back in that ring, old man. You're a fat old fuck and you don't worth it anymore. You got nothing left to give. Pain will tell you that you're not smart enough. You're never going to get that job you really want. Why even bother? Just stay in the place where you're already miserable because these emotional pain will lie to you and say, perhaps the relationship is one you need to stay in because it's all you deserve. But because pain can be a liar. Because pain can be a liar. You have to be very careful when it comes to the practices that you obviously mitigating it, managing it, doing the health things, top stuff are important. But medication can be dangerous. We self-medicate with alcohol, weed, with other things. I have to avoid excessive exercise. I did in my life not that long ago, where I was very proud of the fact that I didn't miss gym days for 42 consecutive days. All those things. Managing it on 3 hours. And I did it not because my body needed to stop. I did it because the other way I did it, I could do it in my head. made my body for you. Things we do to mute our pain. Again, and migraine. At the end of the day, we all have different ways of dealing with our pain. And no matter if it's physical, mental, or emotional, on some level, they will all gang up on you to be better. This is why it is very important. In the eye and say, I will be the challenge because I will win that battle. So like all the parts that really matter in life, all of them. When you're losing, it's secondary to being able to look that battle in the eye, look that pain in the eye and say, I'm here to fight. That's what I'm about living with pain. What do you guys have to say? All right. Don't get me wrong, bro. I'm going to read some of the comments here. It's all good. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I thought yeah, Morgan, that's true. I was thinking about that. Prediction of pain is good. That's good. Oh man. And yes, thank you, Lazybold. I have done some some body strike. Good things ever come from comfort zone, Todd. You're damn right, Philip. Damn right. You have to take pride in it. That's something you do. You have to be able to face it. You need to be able to get the odds. I've earned this. Yeah. We're talking about the rest of the floor, yeah. No, pro wrestling is the biggest sport I know. I'll put my list of years up against it. Maybe not a ton. Okay. At least that's how close Tiger is. How about you guys? Are there any pains that you guys are dealing with these days? Are there any challenges you're facing that are hard, struggling, flat out positive face? Again, if you don't face with pain, the pain takes. And again, I want to make it very clear, I'm very lucky. Physical pain, home, with some of that room. I've got tools. And emotionally, well, I got two little ladies in my life that really well at some of the tougher levels of things, but I would get off of. So, I hope the audio picked up a little bit because I picked up the mic. I do have a new mic, but I really should get it set up. Hey guys, if you've been here and commenting, I really appreciate you being here. For anybody that's joining in afterwards, joining in late, and just catching this on YouTube afterwards, thank you. Please leave a comment. Please like the video. Please share it out to your friends. I'm just going to remind everybody that that was one of my deep mental thoughts, soliloquies on stuff. I do occasionally do fun stuff. Last week I did a review of David Winnipeg. I'm going to talk about with some other wrestlers, some other authors, talk about other things. Sure, try to get some guests lined up. I might even be able to get Ken on. Chat about stuff. Upcoming events. If you're local in Winnipeg, please go to. Oh, that's not Go to www.blazeprowrestling.com right now and get tickets for Anarchy in April 2, April the 24th, here in Winnipeg, St. Louis Center on South Street. Turns out I just had my opponent pronounced. Best goddamn image of Canada. This was the champion. What the fuck? Eric Darkstorm. Guy's on a bit of sabbatical. And he's coming to Canada and he's taking umbrage with some of the words that I've said. Speaking of people taking umbrage with words that I've said, the next weekend, May 1st and 2nd, I'll be performing with best entertainment wrestling out of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in specific. A mountain young man, back, a pretty young man, over the Jeremy Fox, going to show up with a mouth with a quarter of that, allegedly truth of the tune-up match. So that's good. So it's really tune up. And I need that because the next night, May the 2nd, I'll be taking on 7 foot, 350-pound giant Orion in what will be undoubtedly the biggest heavyweight tilt in Canada this year. 30 years, 7 foot, 350. The map from the event, the next few matches are all about. Again, if there's something you like about my wrestling stuff and you want to help support me, please go to prowrestlingtees.com/outlaw. Link to the description down below. This is my official logo here, the Canadian Stop 1995 t-shirt, of course, for those of us that are, Star Wars inspired. I hope you enjoy this little knockoff here that hopefully decides to give it a go. This is the sport again for you for literary minded. I got books, linked, other 5-star reviews on Amazon and on Goodreads. Please check them out if you're into a little bit of thrill, a little bit of action, a little bit of intrigue, and a whole lot of stuff that the comedy. Honestly, the best thing for my mental health, right? I'm a lot of things off my chest. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It really means the world. I don't take it for granted that people show up here. It can be life having nothing but when it comes to this, I think it's important to be vulnerable. It's enough negativity and scary stuff that could be the bullshit online. If I can be honest with myself, or you guys, maybe it can help us all to go, what we're afraid of. Anyways, please check the links. Thank you for being here. Find me on all the socials. I'm available. I'm at a lot of my Instagram. You can find me on the same Facebook. BlueSky. I'm also on TikTok. So thank you guys all for being here. Please like and subscribe. Share these videos out. Share the channel out. And if you're in any pain and you're dealing with it on a regular basis, do what you need to do to face it head on, and by God, don't be afraid. We all this together. Lots of love. Stay safe. That's the That's the That's God damn it, I'll figure these links out. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you for being here.